What's up, Strength and Mobility team? All right, today it's about running. Can't get to the gym right now, but we could be outside with that 6 foot distance. So we're gonna focus on a couple of key points, physically, mentally, and about running that can make it feel right or get us a little bit better at it or keep us doing it for the long haul. So for the body, a couple of things you wanna focus on is first having good tall posture. If you're forward and bent over, it's gonna wear down on your back mid-traps and it's just not gonna be right. Imagine being forward and over and then trying to get your running cadence. Things are going to cross the midline of the body and just get in your way as far as running is concerned. So first and foremost, be tall in your posture. Second, mid-foot strike is where you want to be at. So if you look at the ball or the whole foot, if you heel strike, that's not really landing with any support from the muscles because there's no joint for it to move with. It's going to just jam right into the ankle joint and then subsequently travel up the leg through the knee into the hip. Again, heel strike, not the most efficient, especially if we're going to be doing this for maybe 3, 4, 5 miles. That's going to turn into a lot of strikes of that heel. Ball of the foot can sometimes be too much of a brake system as I'm falling into the front of the foot, that ball of the foot. So that's putting too much pressure into the knee joint and then stopping me from my momentum. Third is finding a nice rhythm. So I said if you're too far forward, you're not going to get a nice arm swing. That arm swing is exactly what I'm talking about, and it's one thing you can focus on maintaining rhythm with. And it's going to be opposite hand, opposite foot as you're running. I'm going to show all these in a little more depth down the turf in a sec after we go through them, but those three physically are something that you can do to make sure your running is right. First, being tall in posture. Second, having good mid-foot strike. And then third, having a nice rhythm where your arms and your legs are flowing together. Mentally, focusing on control first is a big one. Trying not to be too fast to where you don't get to manage the pace. Speed and distance have to work together to find out how far and how fast you're going to run. If you're going 100 meters, you're going to be having to run a lot faster than if you're going 4 or 5 miles. You have to have a different pace, that way you can make it last the whole time, and again, find a nice rhythm to that run. When we're talking about control and the mental part of it, having that strong intent to pair with your action, we want to spring and don't crash. And that's when I'm talking about that mid-foot strike here. I don't want to crash into my foot. I don't want to just flop or fall into my legs. I want to be able to spring off the foot. And so you should only be running as fast as you can control. And as fast as you can control is as fast as you can keep springy off the mid-foot, because that's going to make sure that the muscles are working correctly and as much as they can be to maintain control of that run. So springing off the midfoot is going to be a huge part, and that's where that intent and action meet, that mental and that physical. Engage, control. Lastly, we're talking about the action. As far as running goes, the basics is you want to make sure you start up with the dynamic warm-up, and we have a couple of videos of those. You can check YouTube and you can check Instagram, but the dynamic warm-up is that 3-step toy soldier and those other 7 movements that go along with it. Open up the hips, open up the legs, and get things ready for that run. If you start cold, it increases the risk of injury, and we just want to get things open before we start moving. You can dictate the pace here and set small goals for yourself. If running wasn't always fun for you, you get to choose this here. You can run for 30 seconds or you can run for 3 hours. That's your call. Just know that you're in control of this, and hopefully that makes it a little bit more fun and easier for you to go after. The other one is make sure you cool down and stretch after. So if you finish your long run or running of sprints, etc., make sure that you're doing a little walk around before you go into your stretches, because we want to let the heart rate gradually cool down. And these are just some of the basics that we can focus on to make sure running feels right for us. I'm going to show a couple of little 50-foot runs on the turf here and hopefully give you some context to what it should look like and what you can hopefully make yours look like to last. Now, distance and speed is going to dictate what the run's going to look like. But control should be a center point for all of them. Get it?